How will you balance the continuing costs of military actions with the costs of domestic needs?
Thank you. You don't have to deficit finance our military if you put tough enforceable spending caps in place, as I propose, on the entire federal budget, which then forces Congress and members of both parties to have to make some very tough decisions about what our funding priorities should be. From my perspective, you've got to go back to what the core function of the federal government is in the first place. If nothing else, the federal government is there to protect our national defense. Necessarily that means spending whatever we need to spend to win the wars we are engaged in, to have the finest, strongest military humanly possible, and we should never seek to balance the budget on the backs of our military or on the backs of our national defense. And that is how I would prioritize, because it is the central core mission of the federal government. Now, the way you can do that then is that when you combine that priority with spending caps on the whole budget, then you have to start making some tough decisions about how you're going to spend other money. And those are tough decisions that neither party has been willing to make, but which I've been willing and able to make over the years that I've been involved in government. That's how we need to get spending under control, but we can't do it on the backs of the military and our national defense. It's wrong.
The Iraq War alone has cost this country almost $1 trillion. Senator Caligiuri, are you suggesting that you would have supported the Iraq War and cut domestic spending by $1 trillion in order to finance it?
I would have voted for the Iraq War based on the intelligence that we had at the time. And I would have done everything humanly possible to make sure we funded it and that we did it in a way that made sure we didn't have to raise taxes or spend money out of the road. Yes. We can't have it all, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have it all. We've got to make tough decisions. Neither party, certainly not Congressman Murphy, has been willing to make those tough decisions, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we see record deficits. That's why we see a crumbling economy, 13% in New Britain alone. That's where we're seeing big government, higher taxes, greater regulation, government being the answer to every problem, failing us.
Senator Caligiuri, you can't paper over that last answer with anger. You just said that you would have supported the Iraq War and supported cutting domestic spending by $1 trillion in order to finance it. I'm going to tell you, you're not going to find many people in this district who would agree with that position. And I think it speaks to the decisions that you will make when faced with a circumstance like that in the future.